This channel is supported by TrueFire. TrueFire is an online library of lessons from some of my favourite players. There's thousands of lessons on there. You can use the promo code JNC40 to get 40% off of any of their courses.
I got asked what I thought was actually quite a poignant question on Patreon from Norbert, and he's asked me, goes into the area of practicing scales, 3-note per string, spread chords, etc. I don't know where I got the idea from, but for some time I've been thinking about the extent to which there is a form of practice that has a meditative character. By this I mean that the recurring finger exercises bring me into a calm, a concentration that opposes my hectic everyday life, exercises to come down to focus, so that my guitar practice is more meditation than hard work. Can I do something with that? So, I think this is a really good idea, and a good point, to be honest, as well, because quite a lot of what brings interest to me on the guitar, certainly the first couple of times that you start trying to practice it, there's kind of a frantic element to it. It tends to be quite fast, and then quite a lot of what I would practice growing up then involves a metronome, which again, you know, playing along to a metronome and trying to push the pace and all that sort of stuff can be, you know, not very calming, not very meditative. And I think this is a really interesting idea about kind of bringing the guitar into this kind of meditation, calmness space. Because it's something that I can relate to for sure. Since having the baby, it's more trying to just enjoy time on the guitar rather than necessarily pushing the boat out every time, particularly if it's not for a video. Maybe I'll just play something chilled and relaxed. That's such a good thing about improvisation, by the way, is that you can just kind of put on a track and play along with it, and that has been a meditation for me, particularly as well when I worked in a supermarket and stuff, where you're kind of knackered, and the last thing that you really want to do is kind of sweep pick for an hour. So the idea was that I put together this little introduction, which is some kind of pretty-ish sounding guitar parts that they have some kind of sense behind them, but hopefully will put you in that kind of more calm state. I think a really big influence for this sort of stuff might be to listen to things like Steve Reich, electric counterpoint, those sorts of things which are kind of soft, repetitive, that sort of thing. Anyway, like Sweet Child of Mine without the distortion, right? Patreon will be the place to get the tab for this in the backing track. I may put it up in a couple of keys, let me know if that might be useful. So we're going to start off with this looping phrase. I think a key part of meditation and calmness is repetition. So we're going to go up here. We're starting on our root note in G on the 5th fret. And we're going to go up an octave, down to the 5th. So 5, 8. And then we're going to hit the 5th fret of the A, which is the 9th, and then the 3rd again on the 7th. A 3rd for the first time actually. So we get root, root, 5th, 9, 3rd. And then back to our 5th, to our 6th, to our root. And I might alternate pick this. I might use a hybrid pick there for the octave. Right, so then you want to start to introduce a little bit of movement to this. So that was the idea, that I wanted to kind of gradually change it. So instead of getting to our octave, we get to our major 7 on the fret 7. So then we have 2. And then I wanted another one. And we get that thing going on. So we start the same, then jump down to our C, or our 4th on the 5th fret on the G string. Okay, so that's kind of our first exercise. And you could palm mute it. And you're listening for, you know, the clarity, the tone. Are you playing in time? And that sort of thing. Then I thought, well, we could harmonize that, because one of the really cool things when you're playing these kind of things is harmony. So then we come up to our 9th fret. We're going to be like roughly a 3rd above where we were. 9, 12, 12, 10, 12, 12, 10, 12. And then we drop from the 12 to the 11. And then, you guessed it, you do that. 12, so 9, 12, 12, 10, 10, and drop down to our 9. And then the pattern becomes. And it should match up quite nicely with that first pattern. Now, Norbert was asking about spread triads, so I thought, well, that could be a really nice way to outline some of the changes here. So, what we're going to do is join up inversions of a spread triad. Now, I've done other videos on spread triads if you search the channel, so I won't go too in detail here, but we've got a major spread triad here, so G major, so 3rd fret, 5th fret, 4th fret. Then our first inversion we're going to play here, 2nd fret, 5th fret, 3rd fret. Then our second inversion we're going to play here, got the D on the 5th fret, 3rd on the 9th fret, and then the 8th fret for our root. And what I wanted to do was kind of descend from there and jump out of the spread triad sound. I think I kind of go down, down, up. Or alternate pick, whichever way you feel comfortable. Again, this is about trying to be calm, meditative, and just enjoy the sounds that you're making, not like that. Then I decided, right, we're going to descend 7, 9, 5, 7, 9. And then 7, 9 again. And that places us nicely to hit a B minor spread triad. So this is going to be built on the 3rd degree of the scale, so B minor. So 7, 9, 7, our first root position, minor triad. First inversion here, 5, 9, 7. Then our second inversion, we're going to come up to here, 9, 12, 12. So you get and I'm going to descend like that. So 12, 11, 12, 9, 10, 10, 12, 9, 10. Okay, so we get and then we're going to repeat our major version just built from the 4th degree of the scale. And then you could end it on second inversion of our G, so 10, 14, 12. So you get this all together. And then end it however you like. You could end it, I don't know. Like that, so you kind of joining up quite a lot there. Now, one last thing that I wanted to show you that I like to kind of mess around with to kind of improvise is this idea where we're going to take one note on the top string and then we're going to join. So we're going to follow the scale down, but we're going to stick a minor 6th underneath, right? So, or just a diatonic 6th. So what you're going to visualize is the scale go like this, basically. So we start on 3rd fret, then 7th to 5th. And try and hold all of the notes down if you can. Then we're going to move up the scale like that, right? 5th fret, 9 and 8, 7. Then up to the 7th fret, 10th fret to 9th and 8th, 8th fret, and then 12 and 10th, 10th, 14 and 13, and then to 12, 12, 16 and 15, 14 and 13, 14, 17, 16, 15, and then you're back to your starting point. So figure out interesting ways to that's kind of just a really interesting way, I think, to explore the guitar. You can do it out of time, just explore that as an option. Those are a few of the things that I really like the sound of, that are quite relaxing, I think, to play, and then sort of improvise around those ideas. You're going to be practicing a few kind of concepts in there, spread triads for one thing, you know, these kind of little phrases. Harmonizing, spread triads, and just maybe instead of being super focused on speed or anything like that, we're kind of just thinking, right, things that sound kind of melodic, things that are a little bit interesting, things that can get your fingers moving, but you're not necessarily stressing so much about them, because they're not necessarily super difficult to play once you have figured them out. You're not have to worry about, you know, getting things up to speed. It's more about just focusing on the tone, the sound, and sort of focusing on playing in time, or if also things to try is just playing with yourself, but with no time, and you're keeping the time. And maybe you could try moving the time around and slowing down, speeding up, being focused on the dynamics. And I think that's the thing that's like a bit more of a calm way to practice guitar, and calm exercises that try to kind of chill you out but still get something maybe meaningful out of the practice session. Move those around into other keys. And the progression really we're focusing on there is going from chord 1 to chord 3 to chord 4 back to chord 1. So we could improvise around that as a concept as well. Try it with a looper. Loads of stuff you could do with this. You know, once you've learned it, it's not going to take you ages to learn it, I don't think. Fairly simple technically, but kind of hopefully gets our minds thinking. At the same time, we can kind of relax into it at some point, and it just becomes like a repetitive exercise that sounds good, instead of, you know, some of these things that I've seen that aren't really very musical, you know, like the rock discipline stuff. instead having a bit more of a musical approach and a calmer approach. Maybe. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Patreon will be the place to get the tab and the backing. And thank you so much to Norbert for that as an idea. I think it's a great one. Cheers for now.